Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Knatters Knits podcast. This is probably going to be the last one for 2015, so I'm going to say Happy Christmas and a Happy New Year before I even forget to do that at the end of the podcast. Welcome to all of you who are new to the podcast. Thank you for taking the time to check me out. And a huge thank you and welcome back to all of those who've taken the time to come back again. I really do appreciate it. I've been overwhelmed by the support, the friendship that I've had in the last few months since I started the podcast, and all I can say is thank you so much. It's really nice to know that I've met kindred spirits on other parts of other continents, mainly Canada, America, Australia. So thank you to all of you for watching, and I hope you'll carry on watching me. So today is Sunday the 20th of December. It's the day before my daughter's birthday. So happy birthday, Rachel, if you're watching this. And I got up this morning and thought it's going to be a fantastic day for podcasting. I'm going to have a look at the weather, and it was sunny, it was beautiful. Oh, it was just out of this world. It was phenomenal. So I thought, brilliant. And then I remembered that I had a delivery coming, so I thought, I'll wait till after the delivery. And now, as you can probably tell by the lighting in here, yeah, it's dark and it's wet again. So this is Christmas. I feel like this is bursting into song now. So this is Christmas. What have you done? Another year over and another just begun. Yeah, okay, I won't give up my day job, don't worry. So what have I got to talk to you about? As this is mainly a knitting podcast, I'll try and get on with some knitting. So I'm going to talk to you about works in progress and some finished items. Yes, I actually have finished items. Yay! And a few acquisitions, but they're not yarn. And then I thought I'd have a little chat about a few things that I wanted to talk to you about, mainly to do with Christmas. And of course we've got that drawing for the yarn, which I can see in front of me, so excuse me, I'll just get it, and apologies for the crinkles in advance. So that was the drawing for this Merino Deluxe DK. It's patterns, and there's 6 and a bit, I think it's probably 7 balls of yarn, but I've already wound one up into something, but I haven't used it yet. So this is on its way to some lucky winner, and you'll find out later on in the podcast. So here we go. So I was supposed to tell you about works in progress. This hat, which as you can see is a faux, it's a finished object. This hat, which was supposed to be in a work in progress, but is also a faux, which goes along, this one goes with the other one. And another work in progress, Graham socks, and that's a hoe. So I've actually, apart from the other sock, which I'm desperately trying to get finished for Christmas, and you'll have to wait till after Christmas to find out whether I did complete it or not, tried to get a hold of a few more things to do, but at the moment I am solely knitting on Graham's second sock. I do hope I get it finished. Mind you, it's the 20th today. Chances are I'm working 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Maybe not. I'll just have to grovel apologetically, but it's not really a first Merry Christmas mother-in-law type thing to do, is it, to make him wait for his first present as his son-in-law? So we'll see. So let me talk to you about what I have got finished, as I haven't got any works in progress as such. This hat here is just a bit made up, really. There's no pattern on the web for it or anything. I just sort of winged it a bit. It's made out of some hand spun. As you can probably tell, it's not been washed or blocked yet. I'm going to put this on wet hair and really regret it. But I thought this might just keep Graham for Christmas rather warm and cosy. He's got a bigger head than me, so it should be alright. It's nice and slouchy. It's not huge, but there you go. So that's finished object number 1. I need to get these wrapped. This one, finished object number 2, was the hat that I was doing a test knit for. Do you remember I did it in the green? And I didn't like it because it could stand up. Well, this is the alternative. Slightly longer, not much. Same dimensions pretty much. Which is gratifying to know that my my gauge remains the same. So the green one's for my brother, this one will be for Rachel, who's Graham's wife, and that is going along with the little baby one I made as the mother and baby set. They're not the same pattern, but they are the same yarn. So that's those two. And Graham's socks, well, this is number one, and I've just realised, of course, I was knitting it as I would normally do for me, and again, this is a standard stockinette stitch, but I was using a different, to me, heel turn this time. Really decrease down there. Obviously I'm going to have to do the same one for the second sock, which is a bit of a pain because I didn't particularly like knitting it, but I will do that and then I won't do it ever again. The reason I don't like it is it's made it a little bit bumpy just there. I don't know if you can see that there, and I don't know how that's going to be when he wears it, but they're huge for his size 11 or 12 feet. My feet usually come up to about there, so you can imagine the frustration of having to do all that extra. But anyway, so that's half of Graham's socks finished. So the other thing I have been doing is spinning, and on my Acreworks bobbin is this one. It's from John Arben, johnarben.com. And it's a beautiful red and black and slightly different shades of red. The bobbin doesn't look completely full because I'm actually plying now, so that's quite exciting. That was the first hank that I did, that I showed you before, and the second hank is now on my bobbins, and nearly ready to come off. So that's that one. So that's all the spinning I've done this week. And stash enhancement. Well, my stash gets bigger mainly because I sit at night, not bored, but emails will come in and I've got my iPad next to me, usually with a knitting pattern on, and an email comes in and I get distracted and end up going down the rabbit hole, as you do, you know what I mean. It's just, you know, oh, that's interesting, I'll press on that link and off I go down that rabbit hole. And yeah, so the latest rabbit hole was an email that I had from a lady called Belinda Harris-Reid. If you Google her, her website will come up straight away. It comes up in the top. And Belinda is a crafts person from the southwest of England, I believe. I believe she's in Exeter in Devon, which is of course where I was originally from many years ago, and so was Ellie and Dave from FO&I. So it's a small world really, although I don't think I actually know Belinda to meet. But I did buy one of her brooches. I don't know if you remember, there was a 3 circular pieces joined together that was a brooch pin. Well, so that's why I ended up being on her mailing list, because of buying that last time. So this time, where's it gone? I know I brought it in. Ah, there it is. I ended up buying 2 separate things. One was a set of needles, and as you can see, they're not wood and they're not metal. They're size 7 USA 4.5mm, and they are horn. They're a bit more pointy than I'm used to, and I have stabbed myself a few times. But apart from that, I absolutely love them. I've been using them for doing the crown of the creamy beige hat, and that was really, really nice. So I'm really pleased with those. The only thing is, I don't know whether I've dropped them or damaged them in some way, but the end of one has gone a bit white. So I suspect that that's probably to do with use. But they are all different colours slightly, and I don't know if you can see this one. All different colours and shades, there you go, of the horn. So they were really, really nice to get in the post. The other thing I got, and the main reason I went on the website, was to get another shawl pin. I've only just started wearing shawls because I just started making them. I could never see any point before, but now I can. And so the shawl pin I chose was this one, made of wood, with a plain stick pin through. And as usual, I don't have a shawl in here when I want one. So let's just pop it on my top. And it sits, I don't know if you can see that. There you go, like that. Very nice. It's beautiful, it's been well done, it's smooth, it's just one of those things that you just, you know, very tactile, very therapeutic just to stroke it. I know I'm sad, I know I need to get a life, but it's really, really nice. And it came in this beautiful organza bag with loads of little glitter, sort of like glitter confetti type things, there's stars and all sorts of things in there. So that was a very seasonal, nice present. Now, at the time, I don't think she's still running it, but at the time Belinda had done an offer on the email that said if you used a certain code, you get something off. And what I didn't realise was that it wasn't just that, you were also getting an extra prize, and I haven't got it, so what shall I do? I'll post a picture at the very, very end. It's basically a wood turned pincushion. And I know you're thinking, wood pincushion? But it sits like a small vase, and it's got a piece of felt in the top, and you can just put your pins in it. So that was an absolute freebie, really surprised, but really, really nice to get. And I'm beginning to collect a few of the little wooden things, like I've got my antique mushroom. There we go, for darning socks. This, I think, was my mother-in-law's. Again, very tactile. There's something about wood that's just very honest and very nice. And that's that one. So, I've obviously started a new compulsion, habit, hobby, whatever, is collecting wooden things. Yeah, I know, I need to get a life. I need to get out, and I can hear some of my work colleagues who watch this going, yeah, Nat, you do, you need to get a life. Right, so what have I been doing? Apart from working, I've not been feeling very well this week, so I've been doing a lot of watching TV rather than doing anything else, really. Christmas shopping is finally done, presents are now wrapped. I was going to have a glass of wine here with podcasting, but knowing how tongue-tied I get anyway, I decided that perhaps that wasn't such a good idea. You can just see it, can't you? No, perhaps, no, we're not going there. So I'll have the glass of wine after I've recorded and after I've uploaded this to YouTube. So the things I've been watching are mainly cooking programmes, people like James Martin, Nigel Slater, and one of them was a recipe that Nigel Slater did, was a salmon en croûte. So basically it was puff pastry with a side of salmon, then he made a cucumber and mustard dip with cream, another side of salmon on the top, wrapped it up in pastry, but you didn't completely cover it, you could still see the top of the salmon, and he baked that in the oven and it looked absolutely fabulous. Won't be making it because my husband can't stand fish, but never mind, that looked really, really nice. So the other things I was going to talk to you about was hopefully the changing weather, but it hasn't happened. It's still wet, grey, cloudy and mild, very mild. So much so that I'm really quite concerned, really. It seems to be far too warm. Yesterday was 14 degrees C while I was out shopping, which for this time of year is not good. Usually it gets down to 0, 1, 2 degrees this time of year, and 14 is about usually our spring or summer weather. it's so confusing for the wildlife, because we found that there are daffodils that are out. Excuse me, they don't usually happen till March, so it's very, very confusing. I don't know whether this is just a 1 year aberration, but being British, we have to talk about it. Another thing I thought I would talk about briefly is some of the traditions that we have around Christmas, because having talked to a couple of you online, I now realise that each country has a different tradition. And one of the things we used to do, I was reminded of it the other day when I was talking to some friends at work. We're talking about stockings, and I'm not talking about hose as in, I'm sorry, I'm looking around to see if I can see any. I haven't got any in here. Excuse me. A Christmas stocking, which is like a very large sock that you hang up. Tradition is that you hang it up on the mantelpiece over the fire. Obviously that's a hazard, so we don't do that in this house. We tend to take pictures off the walls and hang it on picture hooks. And the children used to write a letter to Father Christmas saying, I've been very good this year, please can I have, I'll leave that in there. And then hopefully your letter was answered and there were presents for you Christmas Day. Now, in our family, the tradition was very much that you had not presents in your Christmas stocking, not things you'd asked for, but surprises. So there'd be a satsuma or an orange, an apple, some nuts, usually some sort of either talcum powder or soap or something useful but small, because quite often we use my dad's socks, so we couldn't get a lot in them. And I still to this day carry on and do those stockings, even though my children, the youngest one is now 25, we still do that, which is rather nice. And I try and get things to put in there that will be a nice little surprise or a little treat. Old-fashioned sweets that perhaps you can't get as easily nowadays as you used to do when I was a child. Things like candy canes and chocolate mice, all those sorts of things really. And this year's been no different. I'm not going to say what's in the stockings, just in case any of the family are watching, because you never know, and then it would spoil the surprise. So the only thing that I really, really wish is that somebody would slip something into my stocking that I didn't know about. If I don't put it in the stocking, I don't get it, because I'm in charge of the stockings at Christmas. So that would be really, really nice, but I don't think that's going to happen. And the other thing I've found as I've got older, so I'm just looking at my list down here, is Christmas seems to be a time for remembering others. A lot of the posts I've seen on Facebook about, sending things to heaven, and whilst, yes, I'm sure the people who've passed away would like us to remember them, I'm sure most of them actually want us to get on with our lives, so I find those posts quite frustrating. But one of the things I find myself doing is trying to remember other people. Remember people who are around, who are alive, who may be going through tough times. And if that's you, please know I'm thinking about you, because I am. And I think that's what's important about Christmas, is remembering other people. And sometimes if I can remember to send a card or a little present, I will. But it's also about the people we don't know. People who are going through a really hard time. And remembering them either by doing something like giving to a charity, and I do give to a couple of charities, going down to maybe a homeless shelter and helping out, or giving them something that they might need, like sleeping bags, blankets, cans of food, all sorts of things like that. And just for me, it's about remembering how lucky I am to have the things that I have. And I know, sat in a room full of stash with an iPad and a computer, I know that I'm very, very fortunate, and I'm so grateful for that. But I'm even more grateful for the fact that I've got all of you as friends who've made contact with me, and people I'm beginning to build up friendships with, like Marnie, and name is gone. I want to call you Edna, but I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's Edith. Sorry, Edith. Yes, it is Edith, isn't it? And of course there's going to be the person who wins that yarn. So without further ado, obviously it's not going to get to you for Christmas, but it will be going off fairly soon. So what I've done is I've looked at the thread, I've done my random number generator, and there were 33 posts on the thread. I've just locked it just now. So I did a random number generator, and you probably won't be able to see it. 3 to 33, and I generated it, and it came up with 23. And the winner of number 23 is Linda, and Linda is in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. She's called LMECOLL. I don't know if you say that McCall or L McCall or how you pronounce it, but anyway, congratulations, Linda. What done with it now? All that yarn. Oh, here we are. All this yarn is going to be yours. There we go. It's a more purple colour than that, and this is not going to do it justice. It's more of a grape purple. I'll bring it back here. Put it against the pink, maybe that'll help. A little bit maybe, but not really. So that is going to be winging its way to Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Sorry about the crinkles. So Linda, if you can send me a message via Ravelry, send me a PM with your address and everything, then I'll get that on the way to you. So fantastic, congratulations. Right, so what else are we doing on the boards? Obviously that thread's finished and we'll have to think about another knit along. But I think let's get Christmas over with now and see how we get on. If you've got any suggestions, by all means let me know, either via Facebook, Ravelry, Twitter, Instagram, however you like to do it. Let me know and let me know what you think. So I'm going to wind up. I know it's a fairly short episode, but being Christmas, I'm sure you've got plenty of other things to be doing. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me in 2015. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas, that it's peaceful and restful as much as it can be. And I look forward to seeing you in 2016. Pop along to the Ravelry group. If you begin to think about some resolutions for next year, do write them down in the resolutions thread. We'll try and hold you to them. Oh, I know that's difficult to do on the internet, but maybe we can give each other a bit of support there. I hope you've had a fantastic year. I look forward to seeing you again, and thank you so much for watching me. Take care. Happy Christmas. Bye.